Okay, today we will discuss the reflection of electromagnetic waves at a conducting boundary. Last class we have studied the propagation of electromagnetic waves at a conducting medium. Reflection at a conducting surface. Conducting surface. The boundary conditions we have the boundary conditions as for a linear dielectric media. For linear dielectric media, the boundary conditions as epsilon on E1 perpendicular minus epsilon to E2 perpendicular is equal to sigma f. Question number 1. Second boundary condition is E1 parallel minus E2 parallel. E1 parallel minus, second boundary condition B1 perpendicular. B1 perpendicular minus B1 perpendicular minus B2 perpendicular equal to 0. This is second boundary condition. The third boundary condition is E1 parallel minus E2 parallel equal to 0. This is third boundary condition, and the fourth boundary condition is B1 parallel by mu1 minus B2 parallel by mu2 is equal to 0. Question number 4. So these are the boundary conditions for a linear media where sigma f is actually this fourth boundary condition is equal to, it is kf cross n. This is kf cross n, and n is a unit vector perpendicular to the surface if there is no surface charge. We are assuming that sigma, what is sigma f? Sigma f is the free surface charge. Don't confuse it with the conductivity. Conductivity is different. This one represents, in boundary condition, the sigma f represents the free surface charge. It is not conductivity. In Maxwell's equation, we have taken sigma for conductivity. Here sigma f is taken for representing free surface charge density. This is free surface charge density. Free charge per unit surface area, and kf is free surface current density. Surface current density we have already discussed. Surface current density is the current per unit length. Volume current density is represented by J. Volume current density is current per unit area, and surface charge density is current per unit length. So this is kf is free surface current, which is the current density across the surface, passing through the surface, parallel to, not across, it is parallel to the surface. N is a unit vector perpendicular to the surface. So if you take surface like this, then N is a unit vector perpendicular to the surface, and K is the current density passing through the surface. We are assuming that the sigma f, the surface current density, if sigma f is equal to 0, if let us assume that the surface charge density sigma f equal to 0. Sigma f equal to 0. If sigma f equal to 0, then the surface current density, Kf equal to 0. If sigma f and Kf are 0, if these two quantities are 0, we are assuming no free surface current and no free surface charge. If sigma f is 0, then Kf is also equal to 0. Otherwise, it would require infinite electric field to produce surface charge. So sigma f equal to 0, then Kf is equal to 0. If sigma f and Kf are 0, then these boundary conditions 1, 2, 3 and 4 becomes epsilon on E1 perpendicular. The boundary conditions become epsilon on E1 perpendicular minus epsilon to E2 perpendicular equal to 0, or I can write epsilon on E1 perpendicular equal to epsilon to E2 perpendicular, equation number 5. Then B1 perpendicular equal to B2 perpendicular, equation number 6. E1 parallel equal to E2 parallel, equation number 7. Then the last equation is B1 parallel by mu1 equal to B2 parallel by mu2. These are the boundary conditions. Now we will take a surface, consider a surface along the xy plane So this is Z direction and this one is X direction and this one is Y direction. So this is X direction and this one is Y direction and this is Z direction. The electromagnetic wave, this surface, this XY, this surface, it is separating two media. Left side, let it be a dielectric media. Left side, it is a dielectric medium. Right side, it is a conducting medium. So left side, we are having dielectric medium. In the dielectric medium, permeability, let mu1 be the permeability, epsilon on be the permittivity of that medium, and k1 be the wave vector in first medium. Velocity in that medium will be v1. So on the right hand side we will be having wave vector complex. So k2 will be complex in second medium. This is first medium and this one is second medium. This interface is separating the conducting medium from dielectric medium. And this conductive medium is having complex wave vector k2, which will be having a real part and a imaginary part. The speed in second medium, let it be v2. A wave is incident from left to right. A wave is incident along this direction. So this is the direction of propagation of incident wave. So it is traveling along this direction. Its electric field vector, let electric polarization is electric polarization of incident vector is along the x direction, then its magnetic field will be along the y direction. So this is the direction of magnetic field of incident wave. Then some part of wave is reflected back. Since it is same dielectric medium, it will be traveling with a speed of v1, but its direction will be opposite to that of this one. So here k1 will be negative and this one will be positive. Now the electric polarization of reflected wave is along the x direction. Since propagation is along this direction, k cross e will be, so the magnetic field will be along the negative y direction. This is magnetic field of reflected wave vector. Some part of wave will be transmitted, so this represents transmitted wave. So this one represents reflected wave. Reflected wave. And the wave vectors associated with the transmitted wave, we can write the wave vectors associated with the transmitted wave. This is direction of propagation, velocity v2, electric field vector, electric field of transmitted wave. Now the magnetic field of transmitted wave along the positive y direction, electric field along positive x direction, the wave is propagating along the positive z direction. We are considering normal incidence. The wave is incident normally on the interface. Now the wave on, this is the boundary is at z equal to 0. Here z greater than 0, on left hand side z less than 0. So at the boundary at z equal to 0, the wave, the combined wave on left hand side should join with the combined wave on right hand side. At z equal to 0, the wave, the combined wave on left hand side, combined wave EI plus ER and BI plus BR. These two waves should join with the waves E transmitted and B transmitted based on the boundary conditions, equations 5, 6, 7 and 8. So first we need to represent the incident wave, reflected wave and magnetic wave, incident wave, reflected wave and transmitted wave, the wave vectors, electric and magnetic field vectors of these waves. Then the combined wave, equate the combined wave on left hand side with the combined wave on right hand side based on the boundary conditions at z equal to 0. Now write the representations for incident wave. We can write the incident wave as electric field vector associated with the incident wave. We are assuming plane wave solutions. So EI equal to its amplitude E0I e raised to I, first medium, so it is K1 Z minus omega t. The direction is along x direction. The magnetic field vector BI is t. What is BI is t? Actually BI is t is K cross, this will be K cross, K is actually K1 cross EI is t by omega. So this one will be the magnetic field. So here we can write the magnetic field as K cross E. K1 is along x direction, E is along y direction. So x cross y, that will be, K is along z direction. So this is z and E is along x direction. So this will be z cross x. K cross E. K is along Z direction, and E is along X direction. So Z cross X will be Y cap. So this will be along Y direction. K1 by omega. K1 by omega is 1 by V1. Velocity in first medium. K by omega will be 1 by V. So K1 by omega will be 1 by V1. So this left hand side, this right hand side, we can write it as 1 by V1 E0I e raised to I K1Z minus omega t. So this is equation number 9, and this one is equation number 10. In a similar way, we can write the reflected wave as ERZT is equal to E0 reflected e raised to I K1. Here it is reflected wave, so minus K1Z minus omega t, which is along X direction. Question number 11. BRZT. BRZT will be here K cross E. K1 is here the wave vector is along the negative Z direction. So when you find the cross product, you will be getting magnetic field along the negative Y direction. So here it will be minus 1 by velocity of wave will be V1. Here also magnitude will be K1 by omega, which can be written as 1 by V1, but it will be along the negative Y direction. So here on negative sign will be there. Minus 1 by V1 E0R e raised to I minus K1Z minus omega t Y cap. So this wave will be along minus Y cap direction. That's why in the figure we have written magnetic field is along the BR is along the negative Y direction. BI is along the positive Y direction, and BR is along the negative Y direction. So this is the case with the reflected wave. So this one is incident wave, and this is reflected wave. Now we will write the wave equations for transmitted wave. For transmitted wave, the wave is transmitted into the conducting medium. In conducting medium, the wave vector is complex, and that wave vector is given by K2. So the transmitted wave, we can write it as ET ZT equal to E0T e raised to I K2. That K2 is complex. So K2 is minus omega t, which is along X direction. It is equation number 13. Equation number 13. Now BT ZT equal to, what is BT ZT? BT ZT is K2. It is actually K2, which is complex number, K2 cross ET ZT by omega. K2 is along Z direction and ET is along X direction. So Z cross X will be Y direction. So this will be complex K2 by omega into E0T e raised to I K2 complex is at minus omega t into Y cap. This is equation number 14. Can we write this K2 by omega as 1 by V2? No. K2 is complex, and which is having one real part Kr and one imaginary part Ki. The imaginary part determines the attenuation of wave, and the real part determines the wave properties of the wave. That means K2 real by omega will be 1 by V2. We cannot write K2 by omega as 1 by V2. So we will be writing in this form only. So magnetic field is K2 by omega E0T e raised to I K2Z minus omega t. Now apply boundary condition. Now apply boundary condition. boundary conditions. First boundary condition. First boundary condition. First boundary condition. First boundary condition is E1, epsilon and E1 perpendicular equal to epsilon to E2 perpendicular. What is perpendicular component of electric field? The component of electric field perpendicular to the surface electric field is along x direction and our interface is xy plane. So x direction is parallel to xy plane. So this electric and magnetic field vectors, electric field vector is along x direction and magnetic field vector is along y direction. So electric and magnetic field vectors are parallel to the surface and no component of electric and magnetic field vectors are there perpendicular to the surface. So equation, the boundary condition 1 and 2 are automatically satisfied. These two conditions are automatically satisfied since E1 perpendicular and E2 perpendicular are 0, B1 perpendicular and B2 perpendicular are 0. We need not write these boundary conditions. The boundary conditions, first and second boundary conditions are automatically satisfied. Now taking the third boundary condition. Taking the third boundary condition. What is third boundary condition? E1 parallel equal to E2 parallel. E1 parallel equal to E2 parallel. E1 parallel equal to E2 parallel. What is parallel component of electric field in the first medium is E incident plus E reflected. Its parallel component at Z equal to 0. That should join with the parallel component of transmitted wave at Z equal to 0. All the components are parallel to the surface. So we can write E0 I e raised to I k1 Z minus omega t. Z is 0. So we need not write k1 Z there. Then e raised to minus omega t. In all the terms, e raised to minus omega t is present. So that will cancel each other. At boundary, we need not write the exponential term because the exponential terms are same. That will cancel. So ei, the amplitude is E0i plus er, the amplitude is E0r is equal to right hand side we will be having E0t. So this one we can take it as equation number 15. Now taking the fourth boundary condition. Taking the fourth boundary condition. Fourth boundary condition is 1 by mu 1 into B1 parallel. What is B1? B1 is B0I. B1 is, okay, before that I will be writing B0I, BI complex, BI plus BR at parallel component at Z equal to 0 is equal to 1 by mu 2 B transmitted its parallel component at Z equal to 0. So at Z equal to 0, the exponential terms are same. They will cancel each other. So we can write these boundary conditions as BI. What is BI? BI is 1 by V1 E0I. This exponential term will cancel. So 1 by V1 E0I. What is BR minus 1 by V1 E0R? BT K2 by omega E0T. So left hand side we are having 1 by mu 1 into E0I by V1 minus E0R by V2 is equal to 1 by mu 2. BT is complex K2 by omega E0T. From this equation we can write E0I minus E0R as mu1, sorry, this is not V2, this is V1. Reflected wave in same medium, so its value will be V1. So mu0, taking common 1 by mu1 V1, and that mu1 V1 is taken to right hand side. So we'll be having mu1 V1 K2 complex by mu2 omega E0 t. So this right hand side, this coefficient, I am writing it as beta. So E0I minus E0R equal to beta E0t. This beta is different from the beta that we already discussed. That is a real number. In this case, it is a complex number. This beta is complex. This beta, this equation number 15, equation number 16, where beta equal to, where complex beta equal to mu1 V1 by mu2 omega K2. So this is equation number 17. Now, solving equations 15 and 16, we can find the amplitudes of reflected wave and transmitted wave in terms of the amplitude of incident wave. So taking equation 15 plus 16, 15 plus 16 gives, 15 is E0I plus E0R plus this one. So this will be 2 E0I and E0R will get cancelled. E0T taking common. So 1 plus mu1 V1, mu1 V1 K2 by mu2 omega is beta. So we will be having 2 E0I equal to 1 plus beta into E0t. So transmitted wave amplitude E0t can be written as, the complex amplitude of transmitted wave is 2 by 1 plus beta into E0I. This one equation number 18. This equation number 18. Now take equation 15 minus 16. 15 minus 16 means 15 minus 16. So E0I minus E0I, this will cancel. E0R minus minus. So E0R plus E0R, that will be 2 E0R. Then E0t minus beta E0t. So we are having 2 E0R. 2 E0R equal to 1 minus beta E0t. From that find E0R. E0R equal to 1 minus beta by 2 into E0t. What is E0t? E0t is 2 by 1 plus beta into E0I. So this 2 will cancel. E0R equal to 1 minus beta by 1 plus beta into E0I. So this is equation number 19. So equations 18 and 19 represents the amplitudes of reflected and transmitted waves in terms of the amplitudes of incident wave. Now, for a perfect conductor, if we take a perfect conductor, for a perfect conductor, what is conductivity? This is conductivity, not surface charge. Conductivity sigma equal to infinity. If sigma equal to infinity, then we know the expression for K2, which is having a real part and imaginary part, and that real and imaginary parts consists of sigma. When sigma tends to infinity, from the expressions for real and imaginary parts of K2, we can find it in terms of sigma. When you calculate K2 in terms of sigma, when sigma equal to infinity, we will get K2 equal to infinity. If K2 equal to infinity, from equation we have the expression for beta as 17. So from equation 17 we get beta equal to infinite. If beta is infinite, see this equation, if beta is infinite, then 2 by 1 plus infinity, which is infinity. So 2 by infinity means which is 0. 1 by infinity is 0. So E0t, then E0t is equal to 0. 0t equal to 0. And see this equation, 1 minus beta. If beta is a huge quantity, 1 minus beta will be minus beta. 1 plus beta will be beta. So this will be minus beta by beta. Beta will cancel. So here we are having negative sign. So minus E0i. So the second equation, E0r equal to minus E0i. That means for a perfect conductor, no wave is transmitted through the medium. No electromagnetic wave can transmit through the medium. The complete wave is reflected back, and it is out of phase and is having and the reflected wave is reflected wave will be 180 degree out of phase with the incident wave. So in the case of a perfect conductor, the complete wave will be reflected back, no wave will be transmitted. The reflected wave, here negative sign, due to this negative sign, the reflected wave will be 180 degree out of phase with the incident wave. So electromagnetic wave cannot propagate through a perfect conductor. For a good conductor, if I take high sigma value, then for a good conductor, it can penetrate through a short distance. The distance at which the amplitude of incident wave becomes negligibly small, that distance is called penetration depth. So for a good conductor, it can penetrate up to a short distance. For silver, for example, for silver, the penetration depth is nearly 100 angstrom. That means you can take silver as a coating for mirror for reflection. The wave you need to make the reflecting coating very thin, because only 100 angstrom is required. Beyond that, the wave cannot penetrate. So you need to take only 150 angstrom or 200 angstrom thickness. Then you can have complete reflection from such a surface. 200 angstrom means you are having only 20 nanometer. So even with a glass with a silver coating of 15 or 20 nanometer, you can have a good reflector. So you can construct mirrors using silver coating. Glass is used for only for holding that coating, and the reflection is for mirrors. The reflection is taking place at a metallic coating. As the conductivity increases, the reflecting power also increases. The amplitude of wave reflected that depends on the conductivity of medium. So this all about the propagation of electromagnetic waves and reflection and transmission at conducting boundary.